Hi everyone, welcome to the second prompt. The second week. And actually, what are we up to? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is the second prompt of summer. So what I've done since last video is I've done a lot of stitching just of the bits and pieces to do my borders, to add in where I had gaps. And now I'm going to have a go at stitching my moths. So I'm using some lovely hand-dyed wools, starting with this one, which is going to just be the center of my moth. So all I'm going to be doing is filling in the body with straight stitches or satin stitch. Won't be beautifully neat. I want it to be loose and messy and rustic. And what I've actually done, this thread, I think it's a 4-ply, but it's quite a thin one. And what I've done is I've just doubled it over. So I will start to get some variation in colour, and by doubling it over, I am going to stitch it a lot quicker than if I just had this single thread. So I am just going side to side, trying to keep within the shape of the body of my moth. All right, so I'm going to go the whole way down the moth's body. The head is actually a bit of a khaki green, but it's going to start getting some variation very soon. So I was tossing up whether to do my moths in stranded cotton or wools, but I really love the wools. They're kind of my favorite threads, fibers. So I've got so many, and I've been collecting hand-dyed wools for such a long time. I really want to use them a lot. So I decided to go with the wools. I have some really pretty summery colours too. I've got heaps of pinks and greens and a little bit of orange and yellow and lavender. Today I'm going to use some blues with some orange and pink sort of mixed in on the wings. So the intent is to have 2, 4, 6. There will be 2 more down the bottom. I have sort of sketched them out by looking at some illustrations of moths on not Instagram, on Pinterest. I'll show you in a sec. I'll just get this body stitched. I'll probably speed up the video, so I might stop talking and I'll speed it up while I finish stitching the body. If you do want to raise your body a bit, you could have fabric underneath and stitch over it. You can also do a back stitch on the line, outlining your body, and then stitch over it. That keeps you nice and neat with your satin stitch. Or you could even do a padded satin stitch, where you might do lots of long stitches this way and then you stitch over them, so you've kind of got a double layer of thread. But being wool, it's got a little bit of thickness already, so I don't need to do that. You see the pinks starting to come through. Yeah, I could feel something under there, got a little bit of a knot. Let's get that through. Was that thread? Look how much thread I got from that little knot. Let's pull that through. I actually like the way the kind of khaki green has ended up being on the head, and now I'm starting to get into the variegated pink. Because it looks like it's almost done deliberately, like I've changed threads. But it's just the way the thread ended up coming through. Okay, so we'll just get this body done, and then I'll get onto the wings, and then the last thing I'll do is add the eyes and the antenna. I have to see if I've got a wool that's the right colour for that. I may have to pull out some like crewel wool, like Appleton wool, because I'd like it to be like a chocolate brown, a dark brown. And did I say, I can't remember, I'm saving thread. You can see I'm not coming across. Sometimes I do, but at the moment I'm not. I'm just doing a little stitch. So I'm saving wool. I'm not going in the same hole, so it works. Like I'm going next to it. I'll show you in a sec, so that it works well. So that hole is just there, and I'm going just next to it, so it doesn't pull through. And we are almost done with the body. And what has been happening? School's busy, how unusual. Tomorrow we've got something, if you're in Australia you might have heard of it, but I don't know if it's international. We've got Are You OK Day. So it's a day that is aimed at suicide prevention, where people are encouraged to have conversations with their friends, with their family, with their peers. And basically it's, are you okay? So how are you doing? And to start a conversation. So yeah, I've kind of been organising that with the help of another colleague at work. And we have T-shirts a lot of teachers are wearing. I've got a guest speaker coming in to speak to 3 of our year groups about his story, personal story, journey. He lost a brother to suicide, and then struggled with the grief himself, and having to deal with that. So that's really good. He'll come and talk to the boys about his journey and what he did to get help. It's really important for us, for the boys, because boys don't tend to speak up. Girls are better talkers generally. In general, boys often will keep their feelings inside. Not all of them, but most of them will. And it can take a while for a boy to open up and to actually seek help. They're less likely to seek help. So we have the guest speaker, and then tomorrow at lunchtime we have a big barbecue where the boys will get, this is a wristband, Are You Okay? On the inside, it tells you what to do, ask questions, listen to them, actively listen, encourage them to take action, to seek help, and then check in on them. So they get one of these wristbands, they get a sausage and a roll. We have sausage sizzles here. Do you have that where you live? It's definitely an Australian thing. So you can go to our big hardware store, Bunnings, and you can get a sausage sizzle on a Saturday or a Sunday, and then they get a drink. So it's a lot of organisation. We'll be feeding about 700 boys tomorrow. So it's a lot. And we've been building up to this. I started it last year. We also do activities in what we call our tutor groups. So they have, for some people, it might be a homeroom where they have a person that they're allocated to, and they actually have some time with that staff member each day and with that group of boys. We call them tutor groups. So they've been doing some activities about Are You Okay, and raising awareness and how to ask questions and what to do if you're worried about a friend. So trying to upskill them with that kind of stuff. And yeah, and then next year, we do it once a year because tomorrow is the actual day that you're supposed to do it. But the message is you can ask, are you okay, every day. Like, it's a question that you don't need to wait for are you okay to check in on how your friends are. And then next year we're talking about bigger plans, which is really cool because, like, this kind of stuff's really important to me. It's the same kind of, look at this beautiful wool. It's from the Skein Sisters. Skein Sisters. It is 4-ply. And the Skein, does it say where Skein Sisters are? They're in Sydney. Can't remember what suburb. But you can look them up, skeinsisters.com.au. They're on Instagram as well. Yeah, this is important to me. I teach this stuff, mental health, mental awareness, that kind of thing, seeking help, noticing signs in people, etc. So, yeah, this is a very meaningful thing that we're doing tomorrow, but it's a lot of organisation. Going to my local supermarket, Woolies, and ordering 700 sausages and rolls. We've had everything delivered to the school this morning except the rolls, because I want the rolls to be fresh. You have to have fresh rolls. Nothing worse than stale rolls. Yeah, so tomorrow's going to be a busy, busy day. I have a lot of kids helping me. I've got about 20 or so boys helping me tomorrow. They've volunteered. They're boys from my year group that I'm in charge of, which is year 9, and they are mostly 14, 15 years old. And they are leading the barbecue tomorrow, which is pretty cool because they're kind of the middle of high school for us. But I've got them leading. Boys love volunteering to do stuff like this. I've got bright yellow aprons for the boys cooking the sausages to wear. We've got, we're going to be, really well organised tomorrow. But there's a lot to do, but a lot of people are great at helping with this kind of stuff. So we've got a team. I work with a team of people. We technically are middle years. At my school, we actually started almost like a separate part of the school, middle years, which I'm part of, the middle years, being year 9. And we've got our own kind of leadership team of that part of the school with a head of each year group. We've got a person who oversees all of us, the head of middle years. We have a sport middle years person. We have a co-curricular middle years person. We have what we call a college sergeant who assists with discipline and investigations into situations, who works with our middle years. We have a chaplain. We're a Presbyterian church school. So we have a chaplain. He's an awesome guy. And then the senior years have the same, but for the older boys. My boys are they're in the middle. They're kind of almost outgrowing the middle years, but, on the younger end of the senior years. And actually today we actually mixed my boys with the senior students. We'll start transitioning them up to the senior group. Basically from now. And half the kids in my year are actually at the outdoor ed campus where my son is working. So they're not actually even in Sydney, but I go to visit them next week. Next Wednesday I'm going to visit them. So hopefully I get organised. I pre-record my video, otherwise I won't be back till late Wednesday night. And I know after probably be about a 14-hour work day next week, I may not feel like making the video, so let's see if I'm organised. If I'm not, I'll let Rach know and she can give you the message that it will come out in the following day or so. So again, I'm just doing a satin stitch and I'm just playing around with some pattern as I'm chatting away, talking to you a bit about school. Almost on holidays after this week. We just got 2 weeks. In fact, my senior boys are on exams, so I don't have them at the moment. My exam for my subject is tomorrow, so I hope they do well. So I've seen some wonderful interpretations of this prompt. One I really, really loved, and I told you I love this, was Fiona's from New Zealand. Hi, Fiona. I met lovely Fiona at one of our courses previously. She's really lovely. And hi, Judy from New Zealand as well. And Fiona did a similar sort of setup here where I think from memory you had six butterflies, Fiona, but each one was stitched in a different way. So one might have been cross-stitch, one might have been, you know, appliqued fabric, etc. It looked really cool. Like it actually looked like, you know, a specimen board, because they were all different. I really liked that idea. Okay, I'm getting down to some small stitches. So sometimes when I get small, I start going back and forward on the back as well. Like you see, I've just started doing that. Not necessarily following the shape exactly, because I think my wing was a bit, and this will iron off, so it doesn't matter. I might curve it down here because the wing's a little bit too square. So we've got something coming up next week. We've got something that we call X Week. We started that this year as a experimentation where we get a whole year group. So this time it's year 7, which is our sort of 12, 13-year-olds. And they're doing X Week where they pick one of, and we've got 6 to 8 different groups. And they'll do activities all week. So we've got one called the Stadium, which is looking at sports stadium and sports stadium design. They're going to go and have a look at, I think I'm going on an excursion with them. I think I am. Where they're going to look at our big football stadium, the home of my rugby league team, and they get to do a backstage tour. And yeah, I hope I get to go on that one actually. That stadium is relatively new. I've only been in it for a bit over a year. And then there's another really old historic stadium, Sydney Cricket Ground, just next door. So I think we might be doing both from memory. And that one was super popular. Like almost every boy picked that one because anything relating to sport really. And then there's one called Mind Games, and I've been asked to do a workshop with some boys, so myself and another art teacher. We are going to do, we just have to get them using their creative brain, which is cool. So we're going to do an art class with them. And we're trying to think of something that we could do that would be good to do in the space of just under 2 hours. It's like, what are we, like 100 minutes time frame that we get them for. And what we're going to do collage. We're going to do a collaborative art project where we are going to make the boys make collage fish and things like that, and we're going to create an underwater scene and cut out things from paper and coral, and so should be fun. We've got a big long strip of paper that's going to go down the wall, and we've got 40 boys that are going to contribute to a collaborative seascape. Okay, so I'm just going to do one side at a time, and literally all I'm going to keep doing is play with my wools and fill the wings in. So why don't we go to something brighter, this one here, to get some variegation going. And I'm going to start filling in this bottom one. There are lots of great embroidered and hand-stitched and fabric bugs and butterflies and moths and things like that on Pinterest. I put a few in the board, and I put some illustrations too, because there's so many great illustrations, especially the watercolor illustrations of bugs and butterflies are really inspiring. So I put some of them in our board, our Pinterest board. But you'll be able to find it easily. I put in hand embroidered butterflies, and basically once you get one, you can start looking at others. They come up suggested under the pictures, and you'll get lots. I cut a long string. Okay, I want to vary. Because I'm coming down into a point, I'm going to keep coming up on this end and then coming down through there. It just makes it easier when you're coming down into sort of close to a single point. Otherwise, if you keep doing the other method, you'll come up at the point and you'll come up through the same hole. Even if you try to avoid it, it will probably happen. Well, in this so far, there's some tones that are almost in the body. I hope it doesn't blend in, but if it does blend in, what I'll do is I just add some more colour on top and keep adding to it. I'm getting some more pinks here, which should be good, some brighter pinks. Good, nice bright pink, so it's different to the body. I think I'll do one more out here and then I'll start filling it in. Oh, I actually see one that I wouldn't mind using. Maybe I'm going to go away from, do bits of blue, but I'm going to add more pinks into this. I do want some nice colourful colours because it's summer, this theme. So when I do the other side, I'll need to try and get similar colours to what I used. So I might just chop that off because it's the wrong colour. I'll put that in a bowl. I can always use that again, just that little scrap. And then I'm going to start getting some similar colours in there. And I'm going to do that now while I've got this threaded up. So I'm sliding a bit all over the place. I hope I'm staying on. Just let me check that I'm on film nicely. Yeah, it's okay. I could zoom in a bit. Should I zoom in a bit? It's hard when you zoom in to make sure you stay on camera. It's so much easier to get off camera when you're zoomed in. Oops. Try not to move it away. I like embroidering in wool. It's nice and smooth. Now we've got the nice bright pink coming through. Okay, so that will do. They're similar. They are not 100% perfect, but that's okay. Nothing I do is ever going to be perfect. Not even close. It's just not me. Perfection. Okay, so go to some orange. I'm going to go some orange, and there's a little bit of pink in this. Oh, there we go. I'll tell you something cute Alfie's been doing. So when I come home in the afternoon, he gets super excited. I think I've told you that before. He always gets super excited. Even when we just pop outside to the mailbox or whatever and come back in, he gets excited like you've been out all day. But what he started doing this week, as soon as I get home, he gets excited, he has his pad, he jumps all over the place. And then he goes into the hallway, and near the front door I have his harness and his lead hanging on the door. And he goes and he sits down and he stares at it. He's waiting for me to pick it up and put it on him. He's cute. He's done that all week this week. It's kind of a new thing. He knows he has to sit for me to put his harness on, so he goes and sits perfectly waiting. But with lots of excitement, he finds it hard to stay calm. You know, he's still only a puppy. He's only 10 months, 10 and a half months. Okay, now it's quite contrasting. I want to come down just amongst my other stitches a bit, just to merge them together somewhat. They don't look very merged yet, but I'll get there. Bring it down into here. Now I'm doing it at different heights because I don't want like a perfect line. This one I'll go right down into the walls, trying to blend it. I might even come back to the other wall again. Just unthread it. I think I need one in here. Just come back and do one. There's a bit of a gap there, a bit too big. Just filling it in until you like the look of it. Whoops. Okay, it might look a bit funny at the moment, but we'll get there. Okay, I'm going to go back to this one and blend in some more. I think I'm going to do a blue around there to contrast it. Okay, what I might do, I might actually, because this video will get really long, I might actually pop off the video and just, I'm doing the same stitches, so, you know, there's nothing I'm going to do that you're not going to see. So I might just pop off the video, do a bit more stitching, and then come back and show you. Okay, I'll be back in a little while. Okay, so here's my moth. It turned into a rainbow of colours. It's actually the same wool, that one, but I got different parts. And I did put some orange through there, but you can't see it so well. The top's fairly uniform. Get him on screen. The only thing I have to do is I'll do a couple of French knots on the side for the eyes and then just stitch the antenna. I may do some outlining with once I just can't find my wool at the moment, so I'm not going to do it because I need to search for it. I've just had a look and I can't find it. I've got stuff everywhere. So I'll stitch that and I'll come back and show you next week. And then the other ones I'll just gradually work on. So I hope you like seeing looks more like a butterfly than a moth. And I look forward to seeing what you guys do. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.